Hi guys, welcome to the late night chat. You gonna come up, Uncle? Here, I'll give you another link. Come up, Uncle? I'll turn down my volume too. Here, I'll give you another link. Come up, Uncle? Anybody who wants to come up, just hit that link. You can come too, Howie, if you want. Ryan, you can come. Anybody that wants to. I get six of us up here. Anybody snowed in yet?
No. Actually, I need to refresh this to make sure what I got here. 12 degrees outside.
Let me see. I got 25.
Ooh, cool, though. The snow that was supposed to come in Thursday has been taken out of the forecast. So we just got mostly cloudy and, low temperatures.
Supposed to be a really nasty one going up from the Gulf up to the northern part of the United States and then pushing east. I like that.
Yeah. Hey, last night, after I got off with you last night, WV Prepared Mind, she was doing a live, and I went over there, and I was listening to them talk about stuff, and then she saw me in the chat, and she told me to come on up, and she put, we were on there for about 3 hours. It was like 12:30 before we got off there last night.
I saw they were live, but
yeah.
Usually when I get off here, I just take it easy.
Yeah. Will Patriot was over there, and a couple others were over there too.
I think I just caught the end of it or something. Hey, Gray Man, how you doing? Minus 17 in Minnesota.
Ouch! Well, that beats my 12 here. Hey, Howie, how's it going?
Well, Gil, good evening, gentlemen.
Nice kickback evening. Everybody ready for Christmas?
Yeah.
I've been put on a real stringent budget by the boss.
A budget?
Yeah.
Well, it's just the two of you and the kids, right?
Well, she's still in California with the two boys. Then I'm here with my daughter and her family.
Yeah.
But I can't buy her anything at all.
That never stops me.
After last year, she said no, and I could tell if I wanted to maintain my manhood, it would be no. You seem to forget she was a staff sergeant when I met her in a unit of drill sergeants.
You're in a lot of trouble, Gil.
However, I do know her weakness: foot rubs.
So what's everybody been doing all week?
Nothing really.
No?
Nah, nothing special.
I've been renovating my house.
You're renovating your house? What do you got to do to it?
Well, the past few days, put in a new floor in the scullery where people have been doing laundry.
Yeah.
So new washer, new dryer, new floor, painted it, fixed it, any of the gypsum board and stuff. And tomorrow is putting in a new bathtub and a new. Hey, Uncle Al.
Oh, hi, folks. Hi, Howie.
So what, you put tile down before you put the washer dryer in there?
No, I didn't. I put in a engineered wood flooring.
Oh, okay. Something like Virgo then, or?
Yeah. And tomorrow we're putting in a new Pfizer toilet and stuff like that,
Oh, man, you got to go uptown.
Yeah, I'm picking up the countertops tomorrow. I bought a new sink, new dishwasher, new faucets, that kind of thing, you know. I just
Oh.
oversee some other people doing it, so
Yep.
just make sure they're all getting it all done right. And I'm getting a little richer, so I can afford to spend some money.
There you go.
You get older, you
Yeah.
don't spend money on
Well, you know, when
tobacco, you
you,
don't buy booze.
that's what I was going to say.
No.
As you get older, you spend less money because you've already got everything that you wanted. So you just
Yeah, I
got
don't need
money.
nothing.
Money just starts kind of laying around for you as you get
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
Well,
Tomorrow
that's
I'm going out to get a few things done, and then I'll be back to work with the contractors. And then on Thursday, I'm going to feed over 100 homeless people packages we made up from church and stuff like that. And then I do that every week throughout the year anyway. But this Thursday is very important. A new blanket, you know, a new shelter for them, tent, whatever, what they don't have, you know, show them how to set up tarps and hoop house.
Yeah.
And here on Vancouver Island, you're allowed to erect a shelter now.
Oh, really? The homeless
New
are?
rules come out. You can erect a shelter if you're homeless.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey, Howie.
You keep the rain off of them.
Now, they've been letting them do
Sure.
that out in the West Coast for a few years. In wintertime, when it starts raining really bad, if they got access to a tarp or something, they can make like an igloo or something, just something to get themselves out of the weather with. Or even if they can get under an underpass, I don't mind if they can do that, you know, just something to get out of the weather, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Howie.
You never know who's going to be homeless. Go ahead.
Next year, when you're getting ready to do, you know, like before, like after Halloween, before Halloween, actually contact some of the Boy Scout troops. That would be a perfect Eagle Scout project for a boy to gather up all the supplies for you.
Yeah, we used the 5th Tar Slip Troop for that, and to do bottle drives and stuff like that, you know. But it's never enough. It seems there just seems to be more and more.
There's more and more
but
people.
They go to industrial areas.
There's more.
They go to industrial areas now. The homeless, the police bring them there.
Yeah.
And they're out of the community, and then they have services where they can go off from there too. So they're able to build, like, put ATCO trailers and stuff. I don't mean to say any names on here, but trailers there, and they live in trailers and porta potties and showers and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on here. But a lot of people are paranoid to go to them because the people don't seem to, you know, they don't seem to get it that it's okay. They're paranoid.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Gil.
In California, around the Bay Area, every year they around Labor Day, they do what's called a stand down for the veterans with their pets. And what they do is the animal services goes out there and they recruit vets to come out, and they check up on all the pets and stuff and do everything on it. And my troop for 2 years, 2 different Eagles, you know, 2 scouts work on their Eagles, went out and gathered up flea collars, medications, blankets, you know, everything. You know, the animal services had a list of stuff, you know, to do to make these kits, and so they went and gathered up and made the kits. And so, but the thing is, they move it in the county to different cities within the county each year. It's a different city. Nice.
It's nice for them people, for us to show up with say hello, you know, and to smile.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference. Al's got something to say there. It looks pressing.
Anyway, first I sent Gil over there. I think Gil's up there. Your package is through the mail. It took me a 5-mile walk. I did make it to the post office.
You didn't need to do a 5-mile walk.
Hey, I need the exercise.
Okay.
And besides, a crippled old man needs his walking stuff. I'm testing this also. This works great.
Cool.
See that?
The Zippo hand warmer.
Oh yeah.
I
You go
can,
on a
see I can see the fire in there.
yeah. You could whatchamacallit, 5 mile walk keeps you nice and warm.
Those are nice. I have 2 of those, Al.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
Whoa,
And-
Yeah.
John's like smashed his hand in the side chat
Oh,
there.
no.
Lifting weights. Ouch.
Ooh. I just
Thank you
got the-
kindly, Ryan. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like I'm tired today. It's like I'm trying to think. This is what I told people 40 years ago or 50 years ago. If you tear down the flop houses in Skid Row, we're going to have homeless everywhere. And you can't
We have
centralize
lots here.
anything.
Yeah.
Because I used to
Ooh.
work at a clinic, and I told them, once they're spread out, you can't control it, and you're going to see every kind of medieval disease pop up its head. And what do we
You know
have?
what? That's true, Al. That's absolutely true. Impetigo, I've seen outbreaks of it. People all on their
Yeah.
faces here.
And also, what was the other disease? I can't remember. Towards
The living
Idaho.
condition.
Gil, you might have heard of it.
Well, it could be anything from listeriosis to microsporidia in their water. I mean, you don't know.
yeah,
I mean,
people were getting like
fasciitis,
worms or something.
streptococcus.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I told people you're going to have medieval diseases and regular diseases pop up like the thousands. And like usual, everybody laughs at crazy old Uncle Al.
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
fine.
Jay-
I'm used to it.
Jay, if that was California, it was probably San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, you cut my head off there. I'm so pretty looking.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm worried because the 27th is coming up. And let's see, Will Patriot and
Yeah.
Cheryl, I'm really worried about those guys because Uncle Al got his ears to the ground. Uncle Al's sick too, so the ground's really comfortable.
Yeah, she just put an update out.
Yeah, because Antifa and a few other groups is trying to do something right before Christmas, try to cause a riot. And I'm worried about Will because there's some joker group, Texas, Missouri, Kansas. I can't remember what, Oklahoma, New Mexico. I can't think of the other states. This is what happens when you have brain damage, folks. You can't remember stuff. And they're trying to knock off people. You know,
PRS.
Oh, that's not good.
yeah, no. Right before Christmas, they're crazy enough to do it. They're going to assassinate the state enemies of the state. I'm looking around. Enemies.
I fight
You know?
back.
Yeah,
talking about it?
that's
Are you talking about-
crazy.
Are you talking about Antifa?
Antifa's part of it. I don't know who these jokers is. It's making me nervous as hell.
Now, I'm just making a joke here on this one, but could it possibly be HRC?
I doubt it.
He got it. He got it. Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Could be.
Ooh, yeah. Lots of people die around her.
I was down there in Arkansas when the Titan II missile blew up. That was loads of fun.
Yeah.
Never
Wow.
mix nitrous oxide with a monkey wrench. Goes down the tube. Boom. You want to see the Earth move? Go see that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. You never know what's going to show up from space like a meteor. One in 1910 showed up in Russia. You ever hear about that?
Oh yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah, 1910. And it was interesting. The Russian government said nobody died, but yeah, a bunch of native people on reindeer got fried.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was
They
a big
did-
swath the
Yeah.
size of England was just wiped right off Russian map.
Yep. Tenetska?
Guska.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You got your
Yeah,
Big T.
Ryan.
It was the big T.
There's all kinds of conspiracies. One guy was trying to prove that it was a weapon from space that did it, and another guy went out into the field, and he ended up going 4 expeditions. He ended up dying in a German Nazi concentration camp as a Russian soldier. He got captured, so he just died of tuberculosis. And his last name was Kulik. And he was that was his name. It's a common name like Jones or Smith, you know. And that was his name, Kulik. And anyway, he went in there for the Tsar and had to look around and tried to find that meteorite. But he came to the conclusion that it wasn't a meteorite, that it was something from space, but it was more not a meteorite, but it was something from space that caused it. That was his conclusion. So we're in, you never know what's going to happen anytime. So when it comes down to riots or people putting people in to get a riot, there's bigger things to think about.
Yeah, like those 2 asteroids heading to Earth at the same time period. And also SpaceX and the other guys, Amazon, is launching 4,000 satellites into orbit. And Russia and the United States are worried if they don't set up orbit properly, up 52,000 miles, right?
Oh, you're talking about Bezos?
Well, yeah. Bezos
Wow.
and the other guy, bald-headed guy, and Elon Musk. They're going to launch 42,000 satellites, and they just launched 5 last night. One from Singapore, one from Panama, New Guinea, and someplace else. They're launching satellites like crazy.
Wow.
And everybody's worried because these things are big. They're not like little dinky satellites like, we have up there right now. These things are the size of a car. And think about it, 42,000 of them, and you're sitting in your backyard, or Gil sitting in the compound, or Will up there eating a popsicle. All of a sudden, this car-sized satellite comes roaring down at Mach 2 towards his house. That's not a good thought.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I want to get one of those plasma cannons. That way I can just start knocking them out of the sky over my house.
Dig a tunnel underground. That's the safest place.
I got a mine shaft up in Three
Yeah,
Rivers.
I did hear something about that gray man. He said that he heard that North Korea has a present for us.
Great.
Yeah, you got to wonder what they're putting in the atmosphere that's drifting to us. You don't know what evil mind can do.
No, I heard that they've got four bases that can send an intercontinental missile into the United States now. So,
well, we got plenty of fellas around with them type of things too to take care of us. Don't you worry. Our governments are all over that.
well,
And I don't think they'll do anything.
No, they'll be wiped off the map.
No, China will wipe them off the map. Do you know how much money China invested in us? They're not going to lose a couple of $1 trillion. Like, we bought all the Democrats.
If you look at everything that comes from China, it's for maintenance for the West.
Right.
We can't get rid of China because you wouldn't have your TV, your toaster, your car, or whatever else comes from there.
Yeah, my stuff comes from Japan.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing books years ago. I probably shouldn't talk about this, but you weren't supposed to read them, and they told us what was all going to happen 50 years in the future. And I'll tell you, it really happened. I was like, holy moly!
Look down in the chat what Jay just put in there.
I did see that. I put it up there. I put it up there for you guys.
Hey, you know what? On the market, North Korea can buy anything on the market from anybody, just like any other rogue state. Okay,
Right.
so they could buy technology to send something here, and anybody else could too. If you got the right money, you could buy anything on the market, especially from some rogue Russian state. I mean, there's a lot of crap on the market. You could buy MiGs. I mean, you could buy bombers. Like you wouldn't believe what's on the dark
Yeah,
net,
you
man.
can. All you have to do is get to
Anything
that
you
dark internet. You can get whatever you want.
Yeah,
Yup.
that scares the hell out of me.
Can I get a new
It's
body?
terrible.
Nah, they cost too much.
I mean, we have Interpol. You think you're safe? Well, you're not. There's no cops to go after them guys. They are the guys, and nobody goes and messes with them. I mean,
No.
the Russians are pretty tough lot of people, man. They're not wimps. They're bad. I met some Syrian guys that I helped through the church and stuff and through their food recovery program where I am. And I'll tell you, some of the things that they just hinted about what happened in Syria there, they are terrified of the Russians.
Oh, yeah.
Terrified. That's as far as I'm going to go into
Well,
it.
everybody should be terrified of the Russians.
Well, I'm telling you, these people are just spooked. They're scared to death, man. They like we've been to their house and had dinner with them, and they've been over here, go fishing, that kind of thing, gardening, and showing them how to make hugel beds. The list goes on, and you get to know these people. The terror that they have inside them, they have lost their families, their homes, and it's you can smell it on them of terrified of the Russians. I mean, we all should be afraid of anybody that's going to hurt our countries.
Yeah.
But these people, when I sat down with them, I had a different take on what's going on. I'll tell you that.
Putin wants to take over the world, so.
Well, there's lots of bullies around like him.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful. There, every time somebody comes up, there's somebody in the background going to take their place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Russia and India and I forget a few other countries were laughing at the Mongols, especially the Chinese who used to throw dung at them. And guess what happened in the 10th and 12th century? They got really mad. There's one city in Russia. There's only like a little steeple there. Everything around it, including the dirt, is dead. Mongols came in, killed everything. They killed the weeds. They killed the dirt. You have to be really mean. The Mongols came in, killed everybody. They had more heads or skulls on the ground. They say, "What was that white? Is it snow?" No, those are skulls. And they circled the town, and they went in, and they made sure nothing left except this one thing. And that was their policy for anybody who stood against them. I studied the Mongols. And I think India did that, was Muslims. And the Mongols were very nice and polite to them. And the the Muslims laughed at them. Sorry, I used that word. But people who believe in the other Abrahamic religion sent their envoys back with their heads chopped off, their mouths filled with gold. And here's your tribute. Screw you.
Wow.
And then Genghis Khan said, "You killed my nephew. You beheaded them. Filled their mouths with gold." And he told them, "See this city on the map? Over how many people there? Oh, there's 25,000 soldiers and civilians." He said, "Not anymore." He went in there, did same thing as towards the Russians. Wiped everything out except this one minuet where they call for prayers. And they left the Hyman there, and they told them, "When we offer you peace and prosperity, you take it. If you don't, we'll come back."
Bad news.
And that day, you could see where the Mongols came. Afghanistan used to be green. A lot of people forget about that. Used to be green, had forests and everything. And then the Mongols came. They said it was like 1,000 days of hell. The Mongols were really pissed.
Slaughtered everybody.
Afghanistan had, at that time, 2 million people. When they were done, there was 25,000 people left. They went through. That was days of horseback. Could you imagine now if the Mongols rose again?
Well, they're the largest nation in the world. See, Genghis Khan's genes are in more people in the world than anybody else. Yeah.
Well, that explains why.
Yeah.
One of his things was, "You love your enemy. You take their wives and give them kids." Like, what?
Yep.
You love your enemy? Yeah, you give them more kids.
Spread
My
the love.
kid.
Spread the love.
Largest nation in the world.
Yeah, also VD too. Genghis Khan give everybody VD. Also, he gave everybody the Genghis Khan gene too. How many
Yep.
does Genghis Khan have? We estimate about what, 3 billion people?
Alana's
Something like
talking
that.
to you, Uncle.
Oh, hi, Lana. Did you get your card?
Yeah, she said she did.
Good.
Got it today.
How about you, Gil?
I don't know if anything came today or not. My daughter and son-in-law, they take turns going down to the post office every other day, every third day, whenever.
It'll get there. How
Yeah.
about you, Will?
No, not yet.
It'll take time. The storm's freaky as hell. It's like we got tornadoes in Mississippi, snowstorms.
I got a card from Virginia. That's all I've gotten so far.
Yeah, I sent a card to Virginia. And then, oh, yeah. We have tornadoes in Mississippi this time of year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that on the news. Wasn't that Mississippi? That kid took a picture of it, a video of it.
Yeah.
And in Louisiana, and that's what I was telling you guys. That big storm pushing up northeast.
And the next thing I've been looking at my charts, and me and my friends are arguing about. Florida is going to have snow. We don't believe it.
It snowed in the Sahara Desert last month.
I'm looking at it, I'm like,
In
this isn't
Florida?
right. In Florida, whole state of Florida is going to either go 40 or it's going to go 20. We still haven't made up our minds.
You hear that, Ryan?
We have 3 guys who study meteorology for fun. 2 of them are professional meteorologists. I'm an amateur. I just study this for gags and giggles. But so far, I'm right. And Howie's okay because right after the cold belt, you're going to have a nice warm surf on whatchamacallit, because it's going down south and it's going to hit Portland and it's going to hit Seattle. You guys up there in Vancouver, you're going to get a nice warm wave. It's going to be surf Alaska. I keep telling people the whole planet's shifting and changing. So the North Pole is going to be Hudson Bay.
I believe that. Yeah.
And Santa Claus is going to be Canadian.
Yeah.
Uncle Al, are you talking magnetic North Pole or actual rotational North Pole?
Magnetic. Rotational, I'm still working on. There's too many bugs in the system. I got, whatchamacallit, mathematical problems. It's like Isaac Newton's with the apple on his head.
Yeah.
Or is it William Tell?
Well, it's like basically it's like trying to predict the path of a wet knuckleball.
Yeah.
Baseball. It's rotating. It's spinning. I mean, it's rotating. It's oscillating, and whatever else it does. Yeah, it's going every which way it can as it goes flying. Yeah.
Well, that one kid.
Things are different for sure.
That video of that one in Louisiana, man, he was close to it. He was really close to it.
Yeah, I gotta get
30 years ago, I used to skate on the ponds with my kids, right? Today, no. Not on Southern Vancouver Island. It doesn't freeze here anymore.
Yeah.
I get maybe 2-3 days of winter. I'm in Canada, hey.
Yeah.
And I used to skate and like on the ice pond. I'd go out for like 2 months. I could do that every year. Now for the past 20 years, nothing.
Yeah.
Zero.
no
But here's
because
Something
yeah,
is
here's the-
definitely
here's the-
changing.
Here's the other side of that coin. When I bought this property in 2016, that supposedly was the worst winter they've ever had here in over 25 years. The snow came a month earlier than that. So
Weird.
yeah, and like on Halloween, the temperature on Halloween was 26 degrees below the normal for Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that's the
Yeah.
difference here. It's warming here.
It's the
Yeah,
jet,
because-
the jet stream has shifted dramatically.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Two jet
Absolutely.
streams shifted, and also the ocean currents. Because what's going to happen to the North Pole? They're going to be a northern sea cutting right through where the North Pole is. Part of it's going to Russia, the other part's going to North America. Mostly it's going to be in North America. And Russia's going to have Siberia green again, which scares the hell out of me because they did a lot of weird things in the 50s and 60s. And I don't want to like wake up one morning, oh, there's a bear with an AK-47. No, a real bear. And he's talking in Russian, wanting you to get out of his country.
A real bear.
You know what happened this year? It was the first year in October that we had a whole pile of frost. And I never seen it before in all my life in this country here in Vancouver Island, that we get frost in October. It never happens. This year it happened. And it was like incredible. It was incredible. I was eating frozen apples on the tree off a winter apple tree.
Yeah.
There's something going on.
Well, you remember history from 1400 to 1850.
Yeah.
We were suffering from what was called the Big Chill, the Little Ice Age.
Yup.
And in 1816, there was the year without a summer. It snowed in July.
Weird.
1816, 1815, it snowed like hell.
Yeah. And part of it was because they were still recovering, and we're still recovering from the Little Ice Age. Right. If you look at the historical facts and the documents from Britain and France, prior to 1400, France put an embargo on importing wine from Britain because Britain was warm enough to produce better grapes and make better wine than France.
Weird.
And we are nowhere near back to those temperatures.
No, because remember before that, they had the Great Warming period.
Yeah.
Right during the, I think it was Dark Ages.
Wait,
or Middle Ages.
That Great Warming period, was that man-made too?
It's kind of weird because that period, they didn't have coal yet and they're burning wood. And I guess they burned 1 billion trees to get that warming period because it rained 2 degrees. And I figure either the 18 volcanoes that blew up during that time period. Okay, because they had Krakatoa went off at the time. There were no Polynesians there. And that's Easter Island. And a lot of people like, huh? The Polynesian had a massive trade throughout the Philippines,
really did.
Easter Island and South America. And when
I was gonna say that.
18 volcanoes blew up, they left outposts reaching from Peru, Easter Island.
Hi, Jason.
All the little islands in between. And I think something sank, but I'm not too sure because my memory is going, blah, 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 blah,
Hey, Jason.
I don't trust myself. Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
I noticed that there's a lot more subtropicals being grown here on southern Vancouver Island, like olives, lemons, satsuma orange, pomegranates. People are actually growing bananas here now.
Yeah.
And we're talking, I live in Canada.
Yeah.
So I'm just in shock the past few years at all the different things. I have avocados growing outside that are still alive, and they were volunteers in my Pathway Soil Bank, and they have not died yet. So by opening up the gene pool, there's some cold tolerant ones there. I couldn't believe it today. I was out there with a guy that comes here and does a bit of work. We're going to put up some panel fencing, and there they all were in the pathway soil bank, all these avocados growing. And I'm like, huh. I could have taken some video and popped it up on the internet, but I was busy. But I might,
Yeah, from Vancouver up to the coastal towards
It's warm up towards Alaska.
Alaska. It's going to be Surf Alaska, which is going to cause some species to die off really.
It already has. The cedar trees are dying out. There's no water. All the cedars on cedar trees, the thuyas, the red cedar, they're all dead on southern Vancouver Island. There's no water. It doesn't rain here anymore.
Hi, Heritage Farms. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you.
Hey, Heritage Farms.
We're just kind of open forum tonight.
Yeah, what scares me is Australia, because
Wow.
Australia, New Zealand, between China and climate change and stuff, New Zealand is going to go back to total desert. People think it's hot now. Wait until the magnetic tilt or global tilt. Either way, take your choice. I still got to do the math on the global tilt. Wasn't nut. He said 26, but he went to too many whorehouses and got syphilis, so I can't trust that guy. His math is kind of weird. It's really weird, but 2066. That's not too far off. And he's mentioned this. I'm looking at him like, and also he read the Bible a lot, but his figures are still a little bit off. So I'm working on that. But the currents are changing. Some corals are growing really responding. Others are dying off. In America, they're trying to save the American chestnut, which is sort of coming back from a kind of weird extinction. They're trying to breed a hardier one. And I keep telling people, send the hardier breed up to Vancouver, the American chestnut, so you have American chestnut growing in Canada. Because there used to be all over Appalachia. And the way things are going, I don't know what's going on with the ecosystem, because we got boa constrictors all over the place. Cold-blooded, and we have now a warm-blooded boa constrictor. It's not very big. It's small. It's only about...
What, over there in your desert?
Yes. And it scares the hell out of me. Yesterday it was 39. I seen one of these green things slithering around the ground. It's like, up yours. It's nice and cold weather. I'm like, oh, hell. Call Animal Co. Oh, it's a harmless boa constrictor. I live in the desert. There's supposed to be rattlesnakes, not those things. You see a 3-foot snake in your backyard or in the front yard, like, hey, I own this property. Go away.
Somebody had to let that thing go or something.
No, they told me these are now native here. I'm looking at them.
Native?
Green boa.
They can't be native there.
Invasive species. It's green boa constrictor. It scares the hell out of me. Now what? Killer bees, killer fire ants, and fire ants and Argentina ants. I can't remember the other ant that are super colonies that is attacking Idaho. You have one pair of ant attacking another pair of ant in a super colony.
You got killer ants up there, Gil?
Not that I know of.
You better check, Gil. Last I heard there was like Argentina ants in your area.
You want to see bugs? You come to Vancouver Island and go near a swamp. You get eaten alive.
Oh,
They
yeah.
got salamanders here. They're 2 foot long, and lizards and snakes and
All native?
well, they got some spiders here like brown recluse,
Yeah.
black widows, white widows, whatever.
Any tarantulas?
Mm-mm.
Give it
Only
time.
introduced ones.
I got like tarantulas over here. I have to be careful when I stick my hand
They're
up.
good eating.
But
Cook them like
tarantulas?
crabs on the fire.
You getting a windmill this year, Gray Man? What's that for? For your water well?
Oh yeah, we're getting problems with that.
Wow.
Uh, the
Kubatron,
giant,
Cabra.
yeah, those giant rat things. They go into our irrigation canals and just wreck the hell out of them.
You know what's turning up here is green sea turtles and great white sharks.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I put up a video this summer. I was going along with my boat, and I'm like, that looks like a sea turtle. When you're not supposed to have sea turtles here. And so we pull up, and this is this green sea turtle. It was from Hawaii. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're going to
things
use the windmill for energy too?
Oh, that's good. Cheaper than steam. Oh boy.
What are you working on there, Gil?
Just double checking what he said about those ants and everything. All the websites I hit on here. There's nothing about it being in Idaho. I think it gets too freaking cold in the wintertime for them to survive.
Good.
Do you know how to get rid of ants?
You can,
Oh,
Yeah,
Two
get a
ways.
bunch. I get a bunch of little preteen boys. Give them magnifying glasses.
No, no. You take a 5-gallon pail and you cut a hole in the bottom and put the lid on. And then you fill it full of dry hay. Then you go over to the ant mound or where the ants live in the ground and you put it on there. Then you hit it with water. All the ants grab all their little larvae and go up into the bucket. As soon as it's full, about a day or two, you tip it over, put some duct tape on it. And boy, if you got a neighbor you don't like, well, route one way.
Yeah.
The other way is to throw wood ash on there or dry tumaceous earth. There's a hole in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never have bugs and problems in my food forest. It's balanced, you see. With the wood ash, the biochar, and all the layers of biomass. I never get problems like other people. Nope.
yeah, I think I seen on the chat, JUFM said, did Charlton Heston kill these ants? Yes, it was the old 1952 movie.
It wasn't Charlton Heston. It was James Arness.
Was
Name-
James Arnett?
Name of the movie was Them.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the little ants.
Oh, the little ones. Okay. Because there was one with James Arness and
The old
I
guy who
can't think of his
played in
name.
the
and they had
cowboy movies.
no. It was the ants had gotten big
Right.
and they were gotten to do the sewer storm drain system of Los Angeles and they had to go in and kill them.
you gotta have bugs there, Gray Man. It's part of the ecosystem.
They had, whatchamacallit. That one was James Arness, and I forgot the other guy name. He's a great character actor of the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
I just can't, I got a brain for it. Can't think.
Yeah, I know. He's
We have this plant called the vanilla leaf. You ever hear of it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it repels.
James Whitmore.
Yep.
It repels mosquitoes and bugs. It's called a vanilla leaf. And we picked them. It looks like a maple leaf growing on the ground. And you pick 4 or 5 of them and hang them in your house, and no mosquitoes come in.
Yep.
Old maple trick.
That's the movie, JUFM's The Naked Jungle, 1952, with some dark hair lady. I can't think of the name. Getting old, my brain's going blah, 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 blah. I remember all these old movies.
Yeah.
I even remember Empire of the Ants.
That's KFAB just Alana just put that up there. Empire of the Ants, yeah.
Yeah, great
All
movies.
all those movies kind of get you going like this.
I'm already doing that. I live near 5 dairies.
Hey, Uncle Al, did you happen to feel that earthquake today?
Which one?
There was a 4.4 in
North
Central
of us
Valley.
or south?
North.
North of us? North. I think, is it near Madeira?
I'd have to go digging through my emails and my trash to find it.
We get a bunch of little earthquakes around here.
You guys
Yeah.
don't forget to hit my
It has
like
to be
button.
big.
Hit
Like
that like button.
6 or 5. The 3, the 4s, and the 2s we're used to.
Tell them, Gil.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Bam. There
Smack
it
that
is.
like button.
With the flashing red lights.
That's right. That's why I
Which
told him to
area?
do it. I don't know where he got those lights at, but
It's
Is it,
it's in the emoji there.
is it?
Yeah, it's on the
I don't use the one on the chat. I use the one in my browser.
yeah, it's on the one in the chat. Yeah, it's not nature, it's not food. Is it travel? No, objects. Yeah, it's down in objects there, I think, or symbols.
Symbols.
I got blank.
Yeah, it's under symbols now, down in the bottom where they got the bell, the horn, and a deck of cards and stuff. But yeah, they got the siren down there. Not siren. The
That
lights.
was right. Yeah.
I got a red button.
Yeah.
Never hit the red button.
You ever hit the red button?
Yeah, like I said, if it's a 4, it's probably where the heck am I? That way. Trying to think. It got to be close to west of Fresno, east of Fresno. East of Fresno.
East of Fresno, you head towards Shaver Lake is east of Fresno up there in the mountains.
Yeah, but north of that. You'd be around there. Because I know the quake sites around here. There's a bunch of them up north of us. And where my brother lives in Imperial Valley,
I have a red button.
active. That whole area is active like you would not believe.
Doesn't come out red.
But he gets like 2s and 3s. It was a 4.
Just the time. It's there. It's there.
Got to be in the foothills.
Okay. Hey, Will,
Yeah.
you are now tied for first place on my 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
cool. Yay.
Crud. I knew I should have made that video. Hey,
Yeah.
Tyler, how you doing?
Hi, Tyler.
You're in the middle of the crazy town now, buddy.
Yeah. Hi, Caitlin.
We're not quite as far down the rabbit hole as Corsair Trainer goes, but we're dancing.
pretty
We're
close.
dancing around it. We're dancing around the rabbit hole.
I'm already past the rabbit hole someplace in La La Land. Sorry.
We get a phone call now. We get a phone call or on our internet or on our iPhones or landlines when there's an earthquake.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the government phones us and tells us to get to high ground. It just started this year.
Yeah, they've been working on that with the down there in Berkeley, the UC Berkeley, and down with Stanford in San Jose. They've been working on it the program for that for the last 15 years. They've been working on it and to try to get sensors placed all over the place, and now they can tell
Under the ocean.
which sensors will start hitting now, and because it's like the tidal sensors out in the ocean. So one hits, and the next one, oh, it's coming this direction, and
I
then they
get
can,
notifications on my phone for tornadoes here.
yeah.
Technology is good sometimes. Not all the time, but some things are good. You get a fair chance to get to high ground. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to end up like Japan. Let's go over to the safe shelter and everybody be fine from the earthquake.
Ugh.
They got killed by the tidal wave. Great.
Yeah,
From
take the high ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually seen small tidal waves come here years ago and come to the west coast, and it just hits the shore. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but you never know when Fukushima happens again. You just don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
The Daiichi nuclear reactor was actually built here in Canada for that, hey,
Yeah.
for Fukushima. And they don't talk about it, the Japanese, too much because it's so depressing that they try to be positive and talk about anything but that. Because I have a lot of friends from Japan and I speak a little Japanese, not a lot, but I can speak a little bit. And I talk to them all the time. I give them herring. Actually, on the 27th of December, I'm sending a bunch of herring over there, frozen, and they're going to put it in their luggage. And you're a god almost when you show up with fresh herring or fresh sockeye frozen, you know.
Yeah. If you
They
send
really
them fresh herring eggs, that's even better.
Oh yeah, it's right full of herring eggs. I'm giving it to two of my Japanese friends from here. They work in the tech department, and one does, and the other one's a scientist in blood. You see, so when they go over for 2 weeks every year, so I load them up with whatever seafood that I have, and they come back. Well, I get nice gifts coming back. They all shop at the Narita airport. And I get all these beautiful, beautiful gifts. I'm like, wow, little samurai warrior guys with real swords, man. They must have cost them a fortune for that stuff.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, Japan.
Jason said Japan has a big chance of a bigger earthquake. They get big earthquakes over there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's like I seen a Toyota truck with full of people doing breakdancing.
Here we have liquefaction. And what that is the house is built on unstable ground. So during the earthquake, the house settles and goes down. So I was actually recently looking at all the liquefaction areas in my area, and I'm about 70 feet from the edge of it. So I'm okay, but all my neighbors are not. But I just got lucky I'm on solid rock, okay? Or did I?
You gotta put down iron. Let's put down iron rods. What did you say, Will?
I said that could be good, that could be bad, being on solid foundation like that.
Well, if you're on solid rock, you're not going to have liquefaction during an earthquake.
On solid rock for earthquakes, is actually better because you'll get a side to side shaking. Yep. You won't get the oscillation and rolling effect you do,
and you don't think.
Yeah, and you don't think, but you don't get the oscillate rolling like they do in California there, especially in in Oakland, on the west side of Oakland, where they filled out into the bay. First it was East 14th Street was as far as it went, then they filled out, and then they have Highway I-80, and now they've gone out almost to Alameda Island out there, filling it in, and that stuff is just nasty.
Where I live, it's called the Ring of Fire. That's where I live. It's called the Ring of Fire.
You live by the Ring of Fire?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty serious here.
I was gonna say that's kind of screwed.
Well, you look at Vancouver Island, how far it's come from the mainland. It's pretty violent looking. It's a huge swath. I mean, that's over several millennia, but still, that movement has been very violent, and they can only find inhabitants on Vancouver Island back to 12,000 years. Before that, they didn't live here.
Yeah.
They simply couldn't. The place was covered in ice, for one. But I did a little bit of research over the years, and just research, and you can find where people had lived before, where they don't live now. Just the past 1,000 years, you see their totem poles are still there, or their mittens, they're called. And that's the natives' garbage dump. And I'll tell you, you find them inland, believe it or not, where the ocean used to be. Inland. It's like, well, that's weird. Why are there millions of clamshells inland? Well, that's where the ocean used to be.
Right. Gray Man said he'd never heard of an earthquake in Minnesota, but I think I read somewhere there's a fault line that runs north and south along in that direction part of the United States.
Yeah, it's a dormant fault line, not active. But let's see, I think 30,000 years ago, I would not like to live in Minnesota. It's like California of the day.
There is a fault line going through there.
There would
yeah,
have been
well,
woolly mammoths there then.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
mini mammoth, big mammoth, old mammoth.
The first time I ever even heard of a woolly mammoth, I didn't know what they were. I was firefighting. I was a kid. I was in my late teens. And this native crew came from the northern Canada, and they had a Kodak camera. And that was in 1983. And they had a Kodak camera Instamatic. And they took pictures. They took pictures of woolly mammoths coming up through the muskeg. The muskeg was melting back then. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah, right here, look. And they showed it to me. And I'm like, wow. They're all standing there with their firefighting piss cans and Pulaskis. And here's this woolly mammoth that just floated up. And lots of them, they went along, they took pictures. So this warming of the planet's been going on a while.
Yeah, and the one with the woolly mammoth, that was the sudden freeze. All of a sudden, like that movie Day After Tomorrow with that guy, I can't think of his name, from the, I think, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid. I think it's
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah. Those elephants or mammoths were eating, I think, daisies. It was in springtime. All of a sudden, this sudden Arctic blast came through and froze everything up to California.
Yep.
Okay. For Minnesota, I count about 35 small fault lines in Minnesota. Most of them are going from the southwest to the northeast. But then you get into the top state and it flips and it goes from the northwest to the southeast. And then there is 2 that go north to south in Minnesota.
Right. That's correct.
And all you need to do is Google Minnesota fault line map.
Yeah.
Actually, I think if you put the United States fault lines up there, they all intersect somehow.
Yeah, you get too many. It's too spread out. You're not zoomed in enough to actually see them.
I saw a special on it, and they all somehow intersect. They come together.
Well,
which one's the Mississippi one?
New Madrid.
New Madrid, yeah. That happened in, what was it, 1814 or 1826?
Give me a second. But that one was so powerful that it rang church bells in Boston and broke windows in South Carolina.
Wow.
Ryan the Gamer said
so you're talking something about 8 or greater.
Ryan the Gamer says 1888, Uncle, the Madrid fault zone.
That sounds right.
Madrid earthquake. There it is. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah,
it's
because
a finite world.
Actually, the big one was 1811 through 1812. It was a series of them, and it says the one they estimated to be an 8.2 on December 16th, 1811.
Wow.
Followed by an aftershock of 7.4 the same day, and then more the following day.
They had a flatboat that went down the Mississippi, and they had to do it again because they started in Ohio, and they were in Louisiana, and they were back to Ohio. The hard.
Yeah, the Mississippi was flowing the wrong direction for
it flowed backward,
several hours, and it also changed its location. I'm not sure if it's Tennessee. That it, basically where it went along the western edge of it, it shifted over and cut off a corner of it.
Oh yeah!
Wow, that's power, hey! Wow.
Yeah, we were talking about that last night on what's on WV Prepared Mind, and Reed came in on that as well.
Yeah, I think Reed's going to get snow around Christmas, but I'm not too sure. The airflow got 3 masses. It's kind of weird. I have one coming through Portland, just skimming Idaho, clobbering Nevada, hitting Arizona, Mexico, Louisiana, West Texas, East Texas, Oklahoma. It's gone crazy. I mean, I couldn't figure out, but now it's like, wait, Boston's going to get snow, and then next week it's going to be in the 60s. It's like, Lord, what the hell's happened to the planet?
I haven't had snow here yet. It's almost Christmas.
Yeah. Well, right now it's 12 degrees here. Actually, just dropped to 11 degrees here. And they've taken the snow out that was supposed to be here on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and it just shows mostly cloudy.
Yeah, it went down to Nevada, I think.
Yeah.
Well, usually we have usually we have a couple of feet on the ground by now. We haven't had over 2 inches yet.
Well,
You're lucky, Will. Whatchamacallit, other states like Missouri's getting 2 feet of snow.
Well,
oh, yeah.
that's
Oklahoma's
good for them.
getting snow.
That's
Yep.
good for them because they need it.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, because we got snow back, oh, geez. The first week of October.
PFC King, hello.
But then it melted, and we got more snow, and then it melted. We got another snowstorm, and it melted. So, yeah, usually, the snow, having about an inch or two of snow on the ground like we do out in the field right now is normal for this time of the year right now for here. But these temperatures that we had back in September and October, those were way below normal.
Yeah. And then some parts of the ocean and also Australia, they overheated. It's like 120, 118. There was one island, it was 120. There's nothing left on top of the island. It's all cooked.
Yeah.
I heard it hit 148. 148 in India this year.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like that's 3,000 died just in an afternoon. Boom.
Yeah, because the the jet streams are north, the south, and the middle one around the equator. They're all
Snow.
like shifting, like a bad strip tease, and the dancer's really ugly. So it's like, oh Lord, why did I spend $5? Thank God I got glaucoma and going blind.
Smoke some weed. That's what I heard. Fixes
I can't do
glaucoma.
that.
I heard that solves everything.
No, I can't do weed. I have lung troubles. I got to do the drops.
Yeah. You do the drops, hey? Yeah, I can't see it all, hardly at all anymore. I have high blood pressure, so you just get all this blurry. So I don't drive so much anymore. But I take it down. I bring it down with beets and bay leaves and hawthorn berries. I bring it down, But I'll tell you, sometimes I've hit way over 200.
Yeah,
Hey, Uncle Al, Grayman says edibles.
I have kidney and stomach troubles, so I don't want to be barfing like my nephews. I got to do the drops. That's the only one that's safe for me.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler says then inject it.
What?
Yeah.
Inject it.
Inject the
Great.
marijuana.
I'm already injecting like 3 injections
All right,
already.
Uncle Al, you need to go up to Berkeley and get some of the suppositories.
They're just trying
Oh,
to.
my
God.
They're just trying to help you, Uncle.
I'll take the pain. No suppositories. It's like, oh Lord.
Drink some olive oil. You'll pass out all that stuff. No worries. Lots
Great.
of olive oil straight. Lots.
Croton oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already taking cod liver oil.
What don't hurt you will just flow straight through.
I'm already taking
Oh.
cod liver oil. So
Okay, guys, since we're on the subject here, little historical fact. Did you know that they used to prescribe mercury as a cleansing for your body?
yes, for
It
VD.
wasn't poisonous if you drank it because it would just flow right on through. What kills you is the vapors that get inhaled into your lung and get into the blood system. But mercury swallowed passes through.
Right, because if you watch the Lewis and Clark Trail, you can always find out where they've been because they carried a large supply of mercury for that reason. And everywhere they went, and you see it deposited, Lewis and Clark deposit mercury throughout the West.
Yeah, metals have an effect on the human body. Like copper, if you've got an imbalance of copper and zinc, say you got too much copper or too much zinc, then you're going to have a person with insanity. Now, if you have a balanced zinc and a balanced copper, you'll have a person with level-headed thinking. So people that drink water out of their tap, their house is all copper lines. So there's a balance there that's not being maintained because, so in fact, you're exposing your body to more copper. And you know what the government says about it here in Canada? It says, oh, the water we brought to you didn't have any copper in it. It was in your house. So they had opt out.
Well,
But
my
you know
house,
what? Down at the mental health place down here, there's thousands of people come in there. It's bloody hell. It's copper. Stop drinking copper.
well, my house does not have any copper in it anymore. I stripped it all
Smart.
out, and I got PEX piping in there.
Wow. Hey, good for you. I drink water from a spring, so but I do shower in copper water though. But you got to watch copper. Now, copper, your body needs copper. Don't get me wrong. It just doesn't need the ratio that's out of balance.
Yeah.
Then you got
Right.
mental health issues because it'll attach to your thyroid receptor. If you're depleted and you don't have enough potassium, it'll grab a bunch of other metals. All of a sudden, you've got Hashimoto's or whatever the heck it is, all kinds of weird stuff. Big
Also,
goiter.
goiter, yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't have iodine, it'll grab something else. And
Yeah.
it'll
That's
fill
why I
up your
eat seaweed all the
receptor.
time.
Yeah.
That's why I eat seaweed like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, seaweed's really good for you. Extremely good for you. Now try to get your seaweed from like on the Atlantic side. Don't try to get it so much from the Pacific side. Did you know all the intellectuals, like people that I knew that had a doctorate in physics or chemistry, moved from Vancouver Island to the west coast to Nova Scotia because of Fukushima 137 cesium?
Right.
Moved. They came and told me, Howie, you got to get out. And I'm like, no, I'm staying and I'm living out my life the way I want to live it out. I'm not running away. But they sold their houses and all moved. All these brilliant minds that I knew just moved because they're like, no, we don't want, kids coming up and having extra ears and eyeballs.
Yeah.
But you know what? They stopped seafood at the border, that the province's border that comes from here, and they put a Geiger counter on it, and they send it back, and then people underground sell it, and then you're eating contaminated food. My sauce that I'm eating is from 6 years ago in a can, and I know that that's still good. You see. Because it was 4.5 years ago that Fukushima happened, maybe 5. So today I ate one of my cans of sake and I was like, oh, I knew it was the same thing. But the Bay of Fundy seaweed's the best. The red seaweed. I ordered that at 2, 3, 4, 5 kilos at a time, and then I'll ship some of that to my friends in Japan. The year before last, I shipped 2 kilos there for them. Because the seaweed is just, they don't want to trust it, but they don't talk about it. They just ask, can you do this for me? And it's like, oh, no problem.
Because everybody's getting seaweed from the other side of Japan. They don't trust the Pacific side. They trust the Sea of China or Sea of Korea. That side, we got like giant jellyfish. Jellyfish is supposed to be about this big.
Not
this big.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell is that? And before I go, all these jellyfish washed ashore here. But tens of thousands of these gray-looking jellyfish. I didn't know what the heck they were. They were all over the shore. I'm like, what is that? And I thought, well, maybe I should put it in the garden. Then I went, no, because my buddy that had the doctorate in physics, he goes, Howie, don't use seaweed anymore in your garden. He says, and you might live a lot longer. Just don't use the stuff out of the Pacific because it's of the gelatinous. It absorbs the radiation, strontium. The list is endless. So I've cut way back on my oysters and just have to change my diet. But I'm not running. Because anybody that had any brains ran away. They're like,
Yeah.
they know better. They know better than the common man. I'm not trying to be biased or anything. It's just what happened that I noticed. And anybody that had any intelligence just took off.
Right, because
And how they replaced all the people that had the houses here, because you gotta have people that buy them houses, right? They imported Chinese here. They opened up the money just flowed in from China. You wouldn't believe it. Yeah. That's how they replaced all the owners of the homes. When I walk down my street now, I love everybody. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love everybody.
That's a
But I'll tell you, I never ever seen anybody from Asia here. And now when you walk down the street, it's all Asians. And I've learned to say ni hao, say hello in Mandarin. I've learned to say hello in Cantonese, Filipino. I already knew some Japanese from my childhood. I was raised around Japanese people, so I could speak a little bit of that anyway.
Hi,
But
Rob.
right.
I'll tell you,
Rob
it's
Painless again.
there's
Hey,
not
Rob.
just white people here anymore. There's a lot.
Yeah,
of
but
Asians.
Also, Robert and Cindy's in. Hey, Robert.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's see, Rob Peen. Let's see, hey, Rob. Like I said, it's kind of weird because the isotopes you mentioned, they're short-lived, but the trouble is they're very mutagenic. So we don't know what kind of biological damage is going to happen next
Looks
20
like
years.
so
Exactly.
I don't want to be like, wake up and like, your new boss is this angry killer whale or angry Kodiak bear wants you for like 520. Go ahead.
4 days, Al. 4 days after Fukushima, it was picked up here at the station at the airport. 4 days later, cesium-137. And 4 days is all it took to get here. 4 days, man. Boom. Yep.
Cesium, polonium. What
Hi,
was
Rob.
Strontium.
You come in.
there was another.
I mean,
There was another heavy metal, but I can't remember it.
the list is endless. What those fuel rods weren't cooled down. They were
No.
built in Canada. That was all from Canada. The Daiichi. It was all
Right.
made here in the eastern Canada and shipped to Japan. And it's can-do reactors.
Yep.
And they were shipped to China, Germany, Japan. It's big money.
Yeah, they're
And,
trying.
And whoever built that beside the ocean was a lunatic. That should
Yeah.
never been built by the ocean. Build them things inland if you gotta have them, but don't be building them by no ocean. That was ridiculous.
That one's
Well-
over in Japan, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
the thing is, though, it's not only Japan that has them by the ocean. In California, you have several by the ocean. The
Oh,
reason
yeah.
is that's the ocean is their
That's
emergency
terrible.
water supply to cool it down if the pumps work,
Sure.
if the pipes aren't
Build a
broken.
tank.
Yeah.
Also, their crazy idea: if something goes wrong, we'll push it into the ocean. And I'm like, oh God, no.
Yeah, kill everybody. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
realize the ocean's pretty dead from Vancouver on down to California. It's dead out there, man.
Yep.
It's
Or you-
dead. There's very little living there.
Yeah,
Hey,
or you
yeah.
got some kind of mutant.
Hey, let's go back to jellyfish. I thought jellyfish was good for your memory.
It is if it's clean.
Some are good eating.
Yeah, if it's clean, it's not bad. But if it's radioactive and asking you
I
for
don't want it.
food
No.
stamps, like, hey,
What do
I need
what do I
food
have?
stamps.
20 or
Well-
30 years left. I don't want to end up dying right away and goobly booblies on me. I want to have a good time. A not good time when you're full radiation.
Well,
Well-
maybe your mind's good though.
I don't want to be attacked by a.
Whee! Past the men.
I don't want to be attacked by a mutant saying he has rights.
Okay. Howie, one of the other problems
I
too,
saw-
one of the other things since the Japanese earthquake, you guys started getting your cesium stuff. All the crab coming off the west coast and stuff is having a bad time because of these bacteria stuff that's growing, that some of the guys are saying is affected because of the radiation that came in. It's thrown the entire ecosystem out of balance. So you're getting bacteria growing, creating this, I forget the type of acid that the crabs are getting in them that are poisonous to people. It's all related to the radiation came over from the Japanese plant there.
Fukushima.
Yeah, but
Fukushima, yeah.
But the bad thing about the crabs is because of that poison, the crabs are getting bigger. Like little blue crab? No, it's
Could be.
a blue crab. Except it's toxic as hell. Eat one of
Yeah.
those things, you don't live the next day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they like to eat people too.
That's not good, Al.
No, they found that guy in Oakland, and he was half submerged. Those crabs went to him like, "Meow." Looked like a lawnmower just went over the guy.
Yep.
That was
The
scary.
biggest thing now, the biggest thing that's going on now is the nitrates that are going into the ocean, and you're getting these blue-green algae blooms. The tide's going out in Britannia, in Europe. People are jogging along the beach and dying. Horses, policemen, everybody. They go out and they start walking on the beach when at low tide. Well, the gas there's a gas a sulfur gas that comes off. The guy's dead, so they bring in all the coroners and cops to pick the guy up. They're all dead. That's the
Hydrogen
big thing. in Europe right now
sulfide.
is yeah, and it's a gas given off from blue-green algae. So I thought about it. They closed the beach over here at Elk Lake, one of the water reservoirs that we used to use for water. They close it now and say, no, nobody's allowed in there, no pets, no nothing, because dogs die when they go up and eat the blue-green algae. But it's the same thing is happening all around the world. It's because of these large farms that give off the nitrates, like pig farms and cattle lots. And then this goes into the river. The river goes into the ocean. The ocean has an algae bloom. The tide goes out. People that live along the shore are all dead. And I just watched a video on it. I'm like, no, wait, doctors have died.
Yeah.
Horses, dogs, people. And so when the tide's out, nobody goes to the beach in Britannia.
Yeah,
Nobody.
but what's kind of funny is, Howie, we have freshwater mussels, the mussels.
Oh, they're good eating.
Yeah, but from Canada all the way down to Florida, we have this big freshwater mussel die-off. Used to get pearls from them. When I was a kid, used to get nice mussels. Now they're shrank down to about this size, and they're transforming into something else that you can't eat.
No, it's too hard. I used to eat them. I used to dive into the river as a small child, 9, 10 years old, and I'd go and get the river clams. I'd come up and I'd have a fire, and I'd cook the clams around a fire, and then I just ate them. You tried that today. It's like eating a rubber tire.
Yeah, and also they smell bad too.
And they stink. It's because of the nitrates, I'm thinking. That's what's
Right.
doing it. It's a different organism now because of the high level of nitrate. It has to do something, because one time about 15 years ago, I found at this lake in the interior of British Columbia, and there was a creek that came into the lake. And I noticed I could see in the sunlight there was just tons and tons of freshwater clams. I just stripped down, I dove right in there, and I had my little satchel and I filled it up. I was in the water for like 2 or 3 minutes. I came up, I'm like, and I was so excited to see them, and I knew that they were going to be clean, hey? And I ate them, and it was delicious. Delicious.
Yeah, but you can't do that anymore. It's all kind of weird. And
Things are different. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, the last 3 clams I opened up, they had more like, oh my God, they have worms or something crawling inside them.
I haven't seen that here, but in back east I did, and I seen that you couldn't eat the clams.
No, it's scary. Everything's changing around here. I just don't want to wake up one morning and see something comes up and they say, I have an AK-47, hand over your wallet. And it's a jellyfish or a mushroom people or God knows what.
Uncle Al,
You don't know.
Uncle Al, you know what's going to happen? Those blue crabs that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All of a sudden, you're just one going to come on shore. It's going to look like Godzilla.
Great, that's all we need. Godzilla. It's like, oh great, now the crabs are eating us with butter.
Hey, do you want to hear a good one? I was over on this island where they used to put the Chinese lepers, and I did a video, and they would put them on the island. They didn't want them in the population like 100, 200 years ago, and the crabs there come up and they're like doing this. They come right out of the water onto the rock and you'd think they're waving, but they're actually just, stretching on the rock. I'm like, that's not supposed to happen.
No, they like human
water.
beings. They like to eat human beings. It's like, oh no, when they start doing that, I get nervous.
Yeah, there was something funny. There was 3 of us there that saw that, and we're like, what the hell was that? That's not supposed to happen.
No, that's when you run away.
I did. We left the island. It's called Dead Man's Island or Darcy Island. And it was where all the leopards were put. And the last guy, the leopard that lived there, he walked into the cabin and he tipped over the lamp and he burnt the whole island. There's not a rat or a rodent on the island, so it's a great place if you're out and about. You don't have to worry about bears or anything. But all the orchards were still there from the leopards. It was a beautiful gardens they have. They're all gone wild, but you can still see and pick fruit there. What a beautiful island! And there was people there for 100 years because they kept knocking them off. And it's a shame. It's a shame what happened there. Some of them Chinese families came back there and said, "Look, these were our relatives, and they're all buried on the island there. They're all buried."
None of them stays at night either. They just go there daytime and run like hell. Like Molokai. In Hawaii, they have Molokai. That's also a, a leopard colony for the West Coast. They used to ship all their leopards out to Molokai in Hawaii. And the crabs do the same thing. The crab will come out of the water, and if you're too close to the shore, they don't find your body.
Yeah.
Because they'll drag you back into the ocean.
Jeez. Whoa. Leprosy is a fungus, because you're too acidic. That's why it grows on you.
Right.
You're too acidic. Your potential hydrogen level is way off. You're acidic, so the fungus is able to grow. Leprosy is everywhere anyway. But if it's able to grow on you, if you're eating dead food, you're going to grow leprosy. It's as simple as that. But back then, 100 years ago, people didn't know. They just didn't want to see them. They didn't want to touch them. They didn't want to know about them. So they put them on Dead Man's Island here off southern Vancouver Island. So we go there every year for a week. I go there anyway, and I have a beautiful time. But I'll tell you what, I don't eat any crab there. No way.
I wouldn't be going swimming either.
I went swimming there, and they had all kind of like oysters and clams and mussels and all kinds of stuff. I was looking at, I didn't touch anything. After I seen the crab doing this, I'm like, no, this isn't a place for me.
And plus the radioactivity, great.
Yeah.
They have a taste for human flesh. They're used to leprosy. Now they're radioactive with, I forgot what other radioactive material that's short-lived that came from Japan. That everybody is warning, if you're a pregnant woman, do not eat the seafood in Vancouver at all.
No.
Or you get something coming, it's alive!
Pretty much. What happens is that all this debris that's come here, I mean, people are wearing gloves to pick it up, eh?
Oh, yeah, they're wearing chemical suits, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's a lot of debris. It keeps washing. There's this huge thing called flotsam. And it's this huge place that's out in the ocean off of Vancouver Island.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know it's the size of Texas?
Yep.
That's how big it is. And guess what's in it? Flotsam from Fukushima and every other garbage that was ever thrown in the ocean. And it keeps going together. And it keeps growing together. And one thing is that all the Tobiko eggs, the Tobiko are all attached to all the flying fish. They like it because it's something to put their eggs on, and the milk from the male goes onto it, and then you've got more flying fish. That's about the only benefit if you want to eat radioactive flying Tobiko eggs.
Right, that's all we need. Flying fish invading Canada.
You never know what tomorrow's bringing you, Al. You just don't know.
Like I said, either geological, biological, radioactivity, everything goes mad. Then I find out the Number 3 on the killer list between, let's see, solar changes, planetary changes. Number 3, I won't discuss because everybody thinks Uncle Al's already nuts. And then we
Well, I
have,
don't think that.
and then we got number 4, mankind polluting the earth. Great. But number 3 scares the hell out of me. And I can't figure this one out. So I'm keeping quiet until after the 27th. Then all the doors will be closed and we're screwed.
Did you see what Let's Talk About Prepping just said?
But
It says flotsam is just a term for oceanic debris. The main Pacific trash patch is actually in the southern Pacific,
oh yeah,
currently at the pole of inaccessibility.
yeah.
That's a lot of plastic, and it's not getting any better. And
No.
the big thing is
Hi,
that
Thomas, how you doing? Thomas Switten just came in, you guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, that bad thing about that plastic in the Southern Ocean, life forms are absorbing it, and we got a new armor fish. Once, remember armor fish millions and millions of years ago? Well,
Yeah.
all the microplastic, the fish are having new armor. So the sharks can't eat, and the sharks go hungry. Guess where they're heading? Canada. Because
Yeah.
there's
They're here. Great
I
white
know.
shark. I caught a little one. We ate it. It was good eating.
Hey,
Yeah.
Rob calls bullcrap on the floating island. Seems to have been a myth or urban legend.
No, it's
go out there, Rob. You could see it on the satellite.
them. I was just looking at it. It's huge. It's massive.
Yeah,
A
that poor
massive pile
kid.
of junk.
Yeah, I forgot which kid that went out there. The millennial kid with that boat.
Yeah,
Within 15 minutes, or it's already full.
yeah. Yeah, we have it coming on to Vancouver Island. You can clean the beach one day, next day it's just right full of stuff again. And it says right on there, Japanese writing. It'll say right on there, Russian writing or whatever, Chinese writing, and even stuff
Korean.
from India comes here. People throw stuff in the ocean in a bottle that comes to Vancouver Island.
Right. It's like that bottle that came over there from Bangladesh. That was from a Russian freighter. It just kind of floated there. It took a while, but it got there.
It got there, yeah.
Yeah. And remember the North Korean prison camp? They used to throw parts of their prisoners out in the ocean that wore tennis shoes, and you find like a left foot with a tennis shoe, and it's a Chinese-made tennis shoe, and then you're like, where that Nike came from? And you find feet on the Vancouver Island. You're trying to figure that one out. You ever remember that, Howie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the feet? Always the left foot. I don't know why.
Yeah. The flotsam that's out there now is getting bigger and bigger. One time it was smaller, but it is much, much larger. And if it's not the size of Texas, it can't be much smaller. Because it's absolutely huge. And go and check it out on Google Maps. It shows up on Google Maps. Hey.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's bad if it shows up on Google Map.
Hey, did you guys see that the employees of Google are trying to form a union? So Google is starting to fire the employees one by one when they
I heard it.
find out who's trying to organize. They've been firing the employees because they don't want them to form a union.
Yeah. Or they have an accident. Like, whoops, an Amazon truck ran them over.
No, it's real. It was on the news. They're trying to form a union, but Google doesn't want them to.
No,
So-
Google.
So they find some loophole to get rid of them, saying
Yeah.
that they're breaching their contract or something.
Well-
Sad, eh?
I can't remember the term. The guy who wrote,
Non-performance.
guy who wrote Brave New World. What's his name? Gil?
I'm not sure. I'll
Alexei?
tell you in a second here.
Brave New World. Starts with an AH or something.
Who wrote Brave New World? And it comes up and it says Huxley.
Right.
Aldous Huxley.
Right. He did something a long time ago for early television talking about the techno dictators of the future. And Google is a techno dictatorship. It's like mini North Korea in the United States. They do not want unions. They do not want democracy. It's a technological monarchy. Or
Wow.
hierarchy.
Hang on, let me put that name in the chat here. There you go.
Huxley, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of scary. Just getting too old and too beat up, and number 3 is scaring the hell out of me. And it's right before Christmas.
The thing is, Al, what can you do about it? Right?
I'm trying my best, but it's not working.
Exactly. Then give up.
I won't give up. I got 120 million Americans and Canadians. It's a hard job, but somebody got to do it.
I hear you.
Because I got to fight 189 million bad guys in Canada and America. It's like 189. That's, let's see, low on food, low on ammo, low on everything, and I'm not feeling well. Great.
Yeah, you got to watch with numbers. It's there's an old adage that says that the world's getting overpopulated. Well, if you took all the people in the world, like 8 billion, divided it into the square foot of Vancouver Island, we'd all have about 850 square feet to live on. Okay, so the world's not getting overpopulated. What's happening is a few are controlling all the land.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's definitely, even if you took all the people in the world and put them on the prairie provinces in Canada, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Manitoba, we'd have 4,500 square feet to grow food and build a house on. And that would leave the rest of the world to heal. So when you hear mainstream media say, oh, the world's overpopulated, no, it's not. No, it's not at all.
No, the numbers don't jive because
always do the math and you'll know. You'll know the truth if you do the math.
Right. It's a certain group, and it's like, I can't figure it out. And also, world's population is kind of weird because I've been like, from 1948, we got 8 billion people. So everybody in the entire world had sex since they were 9 years old, popping kids every 45 seconds. That does not compute.
No.
You're being talked to in the side chat there, Uncle Al.
Yeah.
Which one?
Forever Spring.
I'd like to say something here about there's 4.2 billion humans on the planet that make less than $2 a day. Okay. So there's 4.2 billion people that make less than $2 a day. Now let's just think about that for a second. In the United States, they take 1 million people for refugee migrants every year. Okay. Now they have a priority to take people that have money, some education. Okay. And the United Nations approves that evaluation. Now you take out the talent, the brain drain out of the 4.2 billion people from India, China, Philippines, South America. Well, they're not there to help them people. You see? And then there's 80 million for that 1 year that the United States took 1 million people. There's 80 more million born into poverty. So you're taking the brains out and leaving what you don't want. It's got to stop. The people need to look after themselves where they are. And that's part of what I do is I show people how to grow food with a food forest where they live out of materials in their environment. So I've been in this fight for 5 years now. And I'm winning. But if you do the numbers, no one can ever mess with math. Because 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. And it just keeps on going. 4.2 billion people with 80 million people added to that 4.2 billion every year. That 1 million the United States takes every year it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. No.
Hey, old man, welcome. Where you been at?
Anyway, that's about the math.
Yeah, but
Hey, Gray Man, I hear you. I used to work on drilling rigs, not out in the ocean like you did, but on dry land, and I've seen big oil companies. If they leave a drive well and they're just going to drag it up, they'll leave all their tools down the hole. I know all about leaving shit behind.
oh yeah, we got plenty of that stuff all over the western states. It's like they keep finding dynamite all over the place. Like here, 2 days ago, they had to evacuate a little town near Three Rivers because they found a quarter ton of dynamite since the 1880s or 90s left out there in a mine. And they just covered up the mine. They forgot about the dynamite and left.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Have a world's biggest explosion up there.
Stay positive.
I don't know. It's getting harder. I try my best. It's like,
Before we die, we're going to see some really, really heavy duty things go on this planet.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
My grandfather used to equate it this way. You take a peach and you tap that peach, and pretty soon it got a bruise. And then the bruise goes all the way around it. It's the same thing with nuclear reactor accidents. It takes time. Like Al said, then 20 years from now, see what's growing on things. And he's absolutely right. That's how you get a mutation is with radiation. You betcha. You betcha. 3-headed donkeys are coming our way, just not right now, but it will.
Yeah.
You better believe it. Yeah,
I forget back in the
Absolutely.
50s where Gil lives. Where's Gil? Gil.
right over there.
In the
Gil.
50s in Idaho, they had the experimental fast breeder by the Navy, and the 3 guys blew up.
That was before I got here.
Yeah, it's still buried out there. Don't dig it up. The government lost track where it was.
I must say good night, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. A lot of fun.
All right,
And
Howie.
Howie.
Will, thank you kindly for having this live stream. I had a great time chatting my ears off, and hopefully yours.
You're quite welcome, Howie.
Season
You're
greetings.
always a pleasure.
See you later, Howie.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I hear you, Gray Man, about that. I work for Chevron, all kinds of big oil companies. I know. I did it for a long time. They like to just leave their stuff laying around.
You seen Bakersfield? They left all their crud over there since the 1895. Bakersfield, everybody knows about Bakersfield. It has 400,000 people. Nobody likes Bakersfield because originally Bakersfield was desert, and then somebody had a bright idea. I know who it was. Had a Standard Oil. Let's make blood out of money or blood out of oil.
Hey,
Yeah.
Prepper Smith, how you doing?
God, that was a mess.
I got room for somebody up here. You want to come up, Rob, or anybody else?
Hey, Will, we got a troll in here.
Yeah, I've been looking.
Okay.
You guys,
Yeah,
you guys have been taking care of it.
Yeah, that last one, that Foxy lady, I just went through the channel. It is definitely a troll.
Yep. Tired.
There's been 3 of them now.
Yeah.
But you guys been taking care of it. I'm not too concerned.
Just zap them, guys. It's
Night,
late
Alana.
Night, Alana. Just zap them, guys.
Night. Night, Alana. I hear you, Rob.
Okay, get down here.
You go sleep for a while, Alana. We'll stay on for a little bit longer. I gotta get up and do a live stream in the morning, but
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get up early and get into Idaho Falls and back before your live stream. Yeah.
everybody's updated and know what they're
Oh,
talking
dear.
about, because a lot of people with fake channels or trolls, they don't understand it's 42K starting. Remember what we talked before? On the 1st of 2020, the FCC, the Federal Trade Commission,
Okay.
Yeah.
and somebody else is
Get rid of
coming
that
down
one.
hard. And they also got a bunch of people from the European Union and also the Southeast or East Asian Conference. They're going after these jokers. And whatchamacallit?
Hey,
So-
Dr. Bob, how you doing?
Yeah, it's like they think they're getting away with something. It's cute or they're underage. That guy in Japan recently got 10 years, and he won't be up for parole for another 9.
Yeah, I was watching a video through YouTube's new guidelines and stuff tonight, so I'm going to talk about it tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
Hey, BK, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Yeah, just tired. It's
How's
like-
the van running?
Yeah, I got Biker Bob 59 here too. Hi, guy.
It's like I tell people, if you update your channel, you put some stuff in, and you mark it correctly, you should have no trouble. But if you violate YouTube and Google's contract, you're going to have to face the feds. Or worse, if you're in a foreign country, the EU and somebody else. I can't remember what organization for that country is, but Japan already took action. Spain took already action. Brazil took a lot of action. It's like they're going after certain people, and a lot of people are like, I don't have $42,000. Well, you're going to spend time in jail or prison.
I hope your shoulder starts feeling better soon, BK.
Yeah. I'm getting old. Old and tired. At least everybody had a nice Christmas. I handed out the fruit and cookies and stuff and fruit out to the old age homes. Everybody knows I bake twice a week, so it's pretty nice. And we gave them tangerines because we have area here. We grow tangerines, so I make sure 100 pounds go out to the
Okay.
people, and they get
Practice.
tangerines for the holidays. And I visit with them, and everybody wants
Yeah.
to talk my ear off. I get tired.
Okay. I want to address something in the side chat here. John's life. Yes.
I was going to tell him, yes.
Yeah. You practice exercise, drawing exercises, moving exercises, load, unload. You practice that without shooting. That will help you build muscle memory for loading up.
Drawing.
Right. But be careful. Don't shoot something important off.
You can practice drawing. That's
Yeah.
auto flex.
Yeah. And changing out, if it's a semi-auto, changing out the magazines, practice that. If it's a revolver, you can get the Spear brand plastic bullets and stuff. Just don't put the primers in it and practice reloading that way. So
Gil, remember in the old days when Crossman had that kit with the CO2 pistol?
I got one.
The revolver or the automatic. And I've seen more guys in training shoot themselves in a place that you don't want to get shot in. It cracked me up. It's like you're a trained professional and you just shot yourself in the groin. It's like,
Yeah.
and it hurts. I'm looking at you doing a two-handed reach. How in the hell you shoot yourself twice?
That's why I don't like appendix carry.
Yeah.
It's like every training class I've been to, it's like somebody's going to shoot himself in the groin. It's worse with the shoulder holster.
Hang on a second. Be right back.
No problem. Well, with the shoulder holsters, somebody always shoots their eye out. with a pellet gun. It's like, oh Lord. This is why I stick with something very nice. It's like knives and bows and arrows and spears.
All right.
I've seen people poke themselves with spears. Bows and arrows is pretty hard unless you hold the arrow and the bow backwards and try to point yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
I
All right, Will, you want a good laugh?
go.
All right. Let's see if I can get a focus on it. That's me when I was sworn in as a deputy sheriff. Look at that hog leg I'm carrying.
Good Lord.
That's a cannon.
That was a Smith & Wesson Model 28, which is the end frame, the big frame for the 44. But it was
Yeah,
it was a 357 with an 8 3/8 inch barrel.
that looked like a Dirty Harry gun.
Yeah.
That'll put somebody down.
Yeah. They when I went through the police academy, 2 of us had the exact same gun. And there was a couple others. There were a couple other revolvers, but most of the academy had semi-autos. Guess who blew everybody out of the water? The 2 Model 28 revolvers. We took first and second for the competition shoot at the academy. Nobody was close to us in points. So hey, a revolver, long barrel. You only need 1 shot because you're going to hit.
You're right, because a lot of people don't understand physics and math because the slide recoils back.
Yeah, you got a lot of yeah.
It throws your aim off because you're firing, and way ejecting, it's either going right or left or up. So your flip is going to be, with a revolver, the cylinder spins, and then the hammer falls, and you only have 1 motion, the recoil. But with the slide, and if you rapid fire, God help you. I've seen somebody did that with a SIG. And it's like, oh no, what they're doing. And they didn't hit the target, they hit the hostage.
Yeah, I want to comment on the side here. John's life said he doesn't dry fire, too risky on rim fire. And then Rob says the dry fire is not risky with rim fire. But if you're worried about it, just put some expended shells in there. That way you're still hitting the expended shell.
Tyler wants to know where you guys carry if your guns aren't pointing at someone else. Well, when I shoulder carry, my gun is pointing semi down at the ground, and when I carry my weapon on my side, I carry inside my waistband, not to the appendix, but just slightly back from the appendix, so it's hanging almost down my leg.
Old school is the anchor carry or small to the back.
Yeah,
I'm old school.
When I carry,
really not pointing at anybody.
Yeah, when I carry, I got a shoulder holster, or for my Smith & Wesson there, I got a shoulder holster, or I got a cowboy high-speed draw, on the thigh. But it's around here. I'm in Idaho. Everybody else carries. I don't have to worry about it.
I have to worry about it. I live in California. It's like every gangster carries a gun. They don't know how to shoot it.
Exactly.
It's like I'm afraid to shoot themselves.
Yeah, I carry mine about where my leg is, but it's at a cant.
Yeah.
Sort of, so I can just pull it straight up. It kind of comes up like that.
Yeah.
I just follow the back. It's a lot easier, and I have the.
My son actually carries for the other 357 I have, which is a 6-inch barrel. He has it in a cross draw, not total cross draw, just between the hip and the belt buckle, so it's aiming off to the side and down.
My shoulder holster, I usually wear a shoulder holster in the summertime because I have a vest or something on, and I can just reach in there and grab it out, and I'm out. And as I'm coming out, it's coming around.
Yep.
Now, if I'm carrying a semi-auto, I got this satchel bag I carry that has all my stuff in, and so it's all my wallet and everything else in there. But that's where the little Glock 29 hides at the small frame.
That's where your pea shooter is.
Yeah, 10 millimeter.
Yep.
I can't read it. Hold on.
About done, guys. Just about done. I'm starting to fade.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys see that new Glock Model 44?
The 22?
The 22. Yeah, I saw a review on that. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
was
they have
looking- I saw a video on that one. Yeah.
yeah, they had the showing that at the SHOT Show in Vegas.
Yeah.
If you know a dealer, you get there a couple of days earlier and you can walk around and talk to people. I'm just too old and too tired, and I'm just staying home. I told him nope. Last one I went was my friend invited me, and he said, "We'll hit the bars, we'll hit the strip clubs, we'll gamble." And I said, "Every casino over there has my picture." So, happy.
Yeah. All righty. Yep. It's almost midnight here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time to
All
hit hay.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming by and chatting.
yeah. I'll catch you
All right.
later.
I'll see you guys out there tomorrow somewhere.
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
All right.
It's Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yep.
Oh, good God. We only have 9 days left.
Yep.
Is it 9 days? Gotta be 9 days.
Hold your breath, Uncle.